Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to Biosynthesis with Shatreen Sawati, and I'm here to deliver the lecture from my biochemistry series. I have discussed a number of topics like the proteins and carbohydrates and lipids. I discussed all the types of the lipids, and this prostaglandin is related to the steroids. So this is very important hormone, and I will clear all the concepts related to the prostaglandin in this lecture. So must watch my lecture till end and hold on to your notebook and pen and pencil and note down all the important information related to the prostaglandins, because I'm now going to clear your concept about the prostaglandins structure, function, each and everything. So in this lecture I will discuss, first of all, I will give you the introduction, then history and the building block of the prostaglandin, which is the archidonic acid, its synthesis, and then the clinical uses and effects of drugs on prostaglandin. So before starting my lecture, please do subscribe my channel, like my videos, share my videos. If you are sharing my videos, you are sharing the knowledge, so keep watching, keep sharing knowledge with others. And if you are feeling any problem, you can share with me related to any topic. I will deliver for you. Okay, now I'm starting my lecture that what is prostaglandin basically. The prostaglandins are made up of unsaturated fatty acids, and these unsaturated fatty acids are cyclopentane rings. They contain cyclopentane rings, and must keep it in your mind the most important unsaturated fatty acid, which is the building block of the prostaglandin, is archidonic acid. I will discuss all these things step by step. So, unlike most hormones, which are produced by the glands and transported in the bloodstream to act on a distinct areas of the body, the prostaglandins are produced at the site where they are needed. So, they are produced in each and every cell and the part of the body which deal with the injury and illness. So the question related to the prostaglandin, where it is produced, is clear now. So what is prostaglandin? That this is produced from the archidonic acid, and where it is produced, it produced in all the cells and tissues and all the parts of the body which deal with the injury and illness. Okay. Now history. Why it is called prostaglandin? Because it is called prostaglandin because it was first discovered in the prostate gland in the seminal fluid in 1935. First, it was discovered in the seminal fluid in the prostate gland, and it was discovered by the Eller. Later on, it was shown that many other tissues secrete prostaglandins and they perform a variety of functions. The first total synthesis of prostaglandin, F2 and the E2, were reported by the Corey in 1969, and for his achievement, he was awarded the Japanese prize in 1989. In 1971, it was determined that aspirin-like drugs inhibit the synthesis of the prostaglandin, and how it inhibit the prostaglandin production I will show you. The biochemist, first one is the Bergstrom, then the second one Samuelson and Wynne, jointly received the Nobel Prize in 1982 in medicine for their research on prostaglandin. Now, there are many alternative names for prostaglandin, so don't be confused. If you have to read to deal with the D2 or E2, F2 and I2, these are all the alternative names of the prostaglandins. Okay. The most important thing now I'm going to discuss the building unit of the prostaglandin. The building unit or building block of the prostaglandin is archidonic acid. Now what is archidonic acid? Archidonic acid is called archidonic acid because its name is derived from the Latin word arachis. Arachis is the botanical name of the peanut. But must keep it in your mind that arachidonic acid not found in the peanut oil. It is found in the cupuca, you can pronounce it as you wish, cupuca butter that is obtained from the Tuberoma grandiflorum. This is the plant from which that butter is obtained, and it was discovered in that. Is it clear? So this is the little bit introduction. Now its chemical structure, you can see here in the figure its chemical structure. Archidonic acid is a carboxylic acid with about 20 carbon chains and 4 cis double bonds. The first double bond is located at the 6th carbon from the omega end. You can see here. Okay, now you can count all the double bonds and the carbon atom easily from this chemical structure. Okay, now biology of the archidonic acid. It is a polyunsaturated fatty acid present in the phospholipids. I have discussed in detail about the phospholipids, so must watch my lecture about the phospholipids. Phosphatidyl ethanolamine, phosphatidyl choline, phosphatidyl linositides of the membrane of the body cells and is abundant in brain, muscles, and lipids. Okay, skeletal muscles is an especially active site of the archidonic acid. Retention means the muscle cell can retain archidonic acid, and roughly it is about 10 to 20% of the phospholipid fatty acids content typically. In addition to being involved in cellular signaling, most important thing I'm here mentioning that the archidonic acid also play a very important role in the cell signaling, cellular signaling. Okay, it regulates the many functions of the cell. So this is about the biology of archidonic acid. Now I am going to discuss the biosynthesis of the prostaglandins from the archidonic acid. How it is synthesized. Prostaglandins are found in most tissues and organs. They are produced by almost all nucleated cells. They are autocrine and paracrine. Must keep it in here. They are autocrine and paracrine both. That act upon platelets, endothelium, uterine and mast cells. They are synthesized in the cell from the fatty acids archidonic acid. Is it clear? Now, from the archidonic acid, this prostaglandin synthesized in two ways. First pathway is known as the cyclooxygenase pathway, and the second one is the lipoxygenase. Why it is called the cyclooxygenase and why it is called the lipoxygenase? Depending upon the enzyme used in the biosynthesis of that prostaglandin. If the cyclooxygenase enzyme is used for the formation of the prostaglandin, it is known as cyclooxygenase, and if the lipoxygenase, this is known as the lipoxygenase pathway. So cyclooxygenase pathway play a very important role in the formation of the or production of the thromboxane, prostacyclin, and DEF alternately. And the lipoxygenase play a very important role in the leukocytes, in macrophages, mean the immune system. Second one pathway is related to the immune system, and the first one is related to the pain, injury, etc. information. So you can see here the formation of the prostaglandin, and you can see here different drugs like this one, and this one. These drugs actually use to stop the production of the prostaglandin when the amount of prostaglandin increases in your body. I will show you if the amount of prostaglandin increases in your body, what will happen. So here you can see the prostaglandin is produced by the two pathways, lipoxygenase pathway and the cyclooxygenase pathway. And you can see clearly about the different types of the prostaglandin produced, and these prostaglandins role in immune system, and in case of the injury, in case of many more. So there are a number of drugs which can stop the activity of the enzymes, or you can say inhibit the enzyme activity, like lipoxygenase, cyclooxygenase, and we can stop the overproduction of the prostaglandin in our body. Okay, the role of prostaglandins. I will discuss the role of prostaglandin in male and female, and I will discuss the clinical uses of the prostaglandin too here. Now in male, because it was first discovered in the prostate gland and in the seminal fluid, I have discussed, so it play a very important role in the sperm density, its function, sperm penetration into the egg during fertilization. Is it clear? So it also help in the blood flow regulation in the male genitals. So this is the overall function of the prostaglandin, along with immune and other injury or pain. It play a very important role in the reproductive system too. So in the female reproductive system, it play a very important central role in the ovulation, menstrual cycle, and the induction of the labor. Is it clear now? So you can see here its role in the female reproductive system, and during the pregnancy, and during the endometrium formation, and other related things. Okay, I'm not here discussing in detail about the different roles during the during ovulation or endometriosis and decidualization and implantation of the embryo. So just I'm giving you the overview that it play a important role in all these functions, in all these processes. Okay. Clinical uses of the prostaglandins. There are a variety of the physiological effects, including like activation of the inflammation. I have discussed that it play a very important role in inflammatory responses, production of the pain and fever. When tissues are damaged, what will happen? The white blood cells flood to the site, try to minimize tissue destruction. So prostaglandins are produced as a result of that. What will happen? When the white blood cells flood to the site, try to minimize the tissue destruction, then at that time what will happen? Prostaglandins are produced. And you are now familiar how the prostaglandins are produced. Prostaglandins are produced by the two pathways, lipoxygenase pathway as well as the cyclooxygenase pathway. Now the third one, blood clots form when a blood vessel is damaged. A type of prostaglandin called thromboxane stimulate constriction and clotting of the platelets. So PGI2 is produced to have the opposite effect on the wall of the blood vessels, where clots should not be forming. In case of the blood vessels, must keep it in your mind. Okay. Now the certain prostaglandins are involved with the induction of the labor or abortion and other reproductive processes, which I have discussed. Okay. Prostaglandins are involved in several other organs, such as the gastrointestinal tract, like inhibit acid synthesis and increase secretion of the protective mucus acid, like HCl, and increase blood flow in the kidneys, and leukotrienes promote constriction of the bronchi associated with the asthma. To prevent closure of the ductus arteriosus in newborn baby, and to treat erectile dysfunctions in the male, in treatment of the glaucoma, prostaglandin is used. Okay. Now, what will happen if my level of prostaglandins are too high? High level of prostaglandins are produced in response to injury or infection, as I have discussed that, and cause inflammation, which is associated with the symptoms of the redness, swelling, pain, and fever. So must keep it in your mind, when there is injury, there is infection, but when prostaglandins are produced and cause inflammation, as a result, we are feeling with swelling, pain, and fever, and redness. This is an important part of the body normal healing processes, as you are familiar. However, this natural response can sometimes lead to excess and chronic production of, sometimes it leads to the chronic production of the prostaglandin. And now, how will you prevent the chronic production? By stopping the enzymes like cyclooxygenase and lipoxygenase, which may contribute to several diseases by causing unwanted inflammation. This means that drug which specifically blocks cyclooxygenase can be used to treat conditions such as arthritis, heavy menstrual bleeding, and painful menstrual cramps. Now, you are familiar all and you get a lot by this lecture, so must watch and share with other. Okay. Now I'm going to discuss the action of the aspirin. This is very important, so that's why I included in my lecture. Aspirin work. How aspirin work? Aspirin actually work by, you can say that, by combining with the cyclooxygenase enzyme and changes the chemistry of the cyclooxygenase and inhibit the cyclooxygenase to produce a prostaglandin. When we take the aspirin, then what will happen? That's why we get relief from the pain and inflammation. The reason is that the cyclooxygenase is stopped or inhibited by the aspirin, and so as a result, prostaglandin production stop, and we feel good. Okay. I hope so the lecture will be clear upon you people. If you have any question, kindly write in the comment box. I will try my best to give you the answer. And thank you very much. Keep watching all my lectures. Share my lectures. Do subscribe my channel. And I will be back till then. Allah Hafiz.